what we want, something that can scale. So when we sleep, it can grow, something autonomous. So we really want to offer tooling. We want an operating system for NFTs.
Welcome to the Nil DAO YouTube channel. You're going to be watching the very first podcast episode on what's going to be a weekly podcast where I bring on experts from Web3, NFTs, and crypto. The reason for this podcast is we want to give you an informational edge. So whether you're a builder, an investor, a trader, a collector, whatever you're doing in the crypto space, that you have the informational edge by learning from experts who've gone through the ups and downs of the market. Now, in today's episode, I have none other than Theo himself, who is the co-founder of Nil DAO. We essentially talk about his early life, what life was like before crypto, how he got into crypto, the experience he built up right before the launch of Nil DAO. I also ask him questions about what the Nil DAO team has built thus far and what we can expect in the future. He shares with me the vision, and I'm going to be honest, it seems very exciting. So that is what you can expect from today's episode. So please, ladies and gents, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Theo, thank you so much for hopping on the Nil DAO channel with me. If you're listening on podcast, everyone, I have with me Theo, who is one of the core contributors of the Nil DAO and someone I honestly have come to respect in the crypto sphere. Theo, how are you doing, my man?
Really great. Really nice seeing you there, Michael. And thanks for welcoming me for this first episode. Super exciting.
Yes, this is the very first episode. This is the launch of our video and audio podcast. We'll be doing this every single week. Now, Theo, I know you're a busy guy. You got a lot of stuff to do, so I'll get straight to it. Kind of give us a short background on who you are and maybe your crypto experience so far.
Sure, my pleasure. So I'm from France, as you could guess. My background is in economics and finance. Always I've been interested in doing business, side hustle, entrepreneurship. And crypto in 2017 sounds really perfect to me, fits my personality and my philosophical beliefs. Started first doing some hackathons, writing articles and doing hackathons. And in 2021, after doing some product management in a centralized crypto company, I met Mike from DAO. We did a hackathon during HackMoney 21, and it has been awesome. We won the balancer pool, offering like a fractionalizer tool for NFTs, exactly the way you use fractional. And yes, I loved it. It was super cool. And from scratch, my passion was really about DeFi and NFTs, the intersection of the two. It was in 2020, actually. And then I wanted to grow and get better also at scaling business. So I joined Aave as a kind of intern. So worked closely with Mark, Jordan, Stani, and it was awesome. Really, this team is super cool. And finally worked on Bunchy right after. So left Aave to work on another solution to support NFTs as collateral. Was super interesting, a lot of kind of interest from the ecosystem. And right before launching, we ended up with Tony, my friend and co-founder. Tony especially launched the end project. And from there, like chaos happened. A lot of innovation, crazy people, a lot of noise too. And from there, we built Nil, which was a kind of way for us to bring the community together and build like a meaningful product on top of N, and moreover to expand now.
That's amazing. We love Aave, and we, the experience that you and Tony have has really is really indicative on how Nil DAO has started to move. Now, I was watching this podcast by Bankless. There was a woman named Lee Jin who really had some awesome insight, and I think you would agree with this. She said, creators have helped Web2 platforms build value, but have not been the beneficiaries. Instead, it's gone to the owners. And I know Nil's ethos is giving ownership to both the creator and the curator. So with that being said, kind of explain to us, what is Nil DAO exactly?
Yes, that there is this core part of giving back ownership to the creators. And moreover, what we expect Nil to be is this kind of suits that align all participant initiatives. So curators, creators, and collectors. And what we put under this vision is tribe as a service. So offer the suite for all the metaverse tribes. So because behind each NFT community, we believe there is a community. And what we want is to offer them like this home space on the metaverse where they can perform social and transactional interactions. So that's the long-term vision. Offer a suite, an operating system for tribes to sell NFTs, perform economical action, but also the kind of social one related to trading mostly. So that's the vision, and we believe that we can leverage economic designs to align creators, curators, and collectors for everyone to benefit from the work they put inside of this so-called creator economy. And that's one of the vision. Create a link between the curators and the creators, for instance.
So it sounds like Nil DAO is helping people move from the creator economy to almost the ownership economy, where whatever you contribute to, you almost have ownership of, which sounds really amazing to me. So tell me, what has Nil built so far? What is it that you guys call Nil version 1 currently?
Yeah, absolutely. So the version was really based on the problematic we saw with N, which was, and most over with NFTs in general, the need for a curation platform for NFTs. There is a lot of noise, and we believe there is a way to leverage kind of crowd appraisal, crowd wisdom to put lights on specific NFTs, and from there get also people rewarded for curating. So this was mainly based on the graph mechanism. So the way they curate graph, and people can just signal what informations need to be covered by the graph, and from there they get rewarded. So that was the first vision, curated NFT marketplace, and it was mostly focused on the launchpad. So creators can apply to launch on Nil, and they benefit from really powerful distribution tools, because so far creators, most of the artists, they don't want to code themselves the smart contracts, and they don't know all about the way to distribute their artwork. So that was something we offered to them. We have this kind of smart contract we can reuse for you, and you can have this very granular, modular way to launch your collection. And the other side of the thing is that to do so, you will earn ownership based on how well perform your collection. So kind of the more performance it is, the greater the Nil reward you generate. So that was kind of the basis of the V1, a launchpad curated by the community with ownership for both the creators and the curators. And the system we implement was based on the Mirror XYZ, so a kind of racing model where everyone can try his chance, but you need to be supported by the community, or to be the most supported to access all the benefits of Nil.
We love that. Amazing, amazing. So, I've been in the Nil Discord for some time. I've been in the N Discord. I'm in the Builders chat. One thing I noticed that you are very DAO first. You and Tony are very like DAO first. Like it's an actual DAO. Like I've been in other DAO chats before, but to be honest, they're DAOs for the sake of being a DAO. Like it's almost a marketing thing, right? But Nil really does operate like a DAO. And I know Nil just did this massive hiring initiative that redistributed an airdrop to people who wanted to build with the platform. So tell me a little bit about that, where the thought process came from and how that's been going so far.
Absolutely. So yeah, the DAO first stuff comes from the realization that your community is both your best strength to build, but also to distribute your work, like make people a living from your token, or give them great ownership in early ventures, the way they couldn't afford in Web2. And they will forever be kind of grateful to you. Magic has been super good at doing it also. And that's what like kind of our target. So core Nilistadors that are really excited and can really get access freedom from their early contribution and support. And initially, we had like 5% of all the max supply, which was dedicated to the airdrop. and mostly going to creators, 50% of the airdrop, and also to and holders, like 30% of the airdrop, and then to some NFT enthusiasts from Twitter and others. And from there were like still a lot of tokens not claimed. And we thought like how to redistribute that and how to empower people, as I mentioned before, like give them some great ownership over the platform to basically make it together, make it with them, but in counterpart, get their support, their contribution from different level potentially. So from just doing meme, being an enjoyer, having some fun, vibing, to really building. And from there, we created this kind of system of redistribution for the airdrop, and just said, please fill this form, tell us what you want to do, what you have done, and it's kind of an hiring process. So you enter as an illustrator, and there are other posts depending of the liability you want to have versus the DAO, what we can expect from you, and also what you can expect from us, basically. And we received like more than 4,000 answers. So it has been really awesome, and selected more than 350 of kind of core contributors for the first round, which I think is something interesting. Also, like this is not a fixed process. It's really kind of evolutive, and it will be there for the many years to come. Like, we believe that airdrops shouldn't be, this kind of super brittle release where it can be gamified. Some people also will dump, and you lose some leverage over a long-term incentive. While we expect with this kind of tantric airdrop, we have called it, to reward people on the long term and keep an incentive to bring new people and welcome them, and make it with the future coming people, let's say.
I know I'm in the Discord, so I've met a lot of new people through the hiring initiative, and I really do think a lot of projects, I hope they should learn from what we did at Nil, and like empower, like you said, people who want to contribute from, as something as creating a meme or hyping up the community, to someone who's a developer, to someone like this who can create content, right? There's a skill that everyone can contribute that, I think projects, if they start doing this, will empower their community. So kudos to you guys for doing this. Now, I've heard this phrase a lot of the Discord. I know Tony is the one who said it, but I want you to kind of expound on this. The next OpenSea will not be OpenSea. What does that mean exactly?
Yeah, effectively, I think that's a great way, and we owe it to Tony to summarize our vision versus how to build NFT suits for the people and built by the people. So from really native DeFi users and NFT collectors, building from a first principle point of view. Because there are many ways to, let's say, grab the market share of NFTs and offer the community the apps they want. You can fork and provide some initiative and try from there. Or you can from scratch, start by the beginning, say we need the launchpad, we need the marketplace, and from there being more evolutive. But by saying the next OpenSea will not be OpenSea, is just that we need to get back to this first principle aspect of what is an NFT, or what we assume it is, what is a community behind it, and how we can empower that. And that's really the key vision for us. So get more on the tribe aspect, community, rather than just the NFT as a commodity. So there are many consequences associated, I think, to that kind of mantra. So potentially build on L2 to start with, because if you really want to build something that can onboard the new people, like you need to start, I think, on L2, and from scratch have the kind of modularity to test stuff, try and evolve with your platform. And from us, it was also the need to probably focus on a special niche of the market. because I think OpenSea is doing basically three things. None super well, but they do it. Like it's the curation aspect, Launchpad. Then there is what we call the Veblen trading. So the fact that you can trade expensive PCs on OpenSea. And finally, the kind of high frequencies trading. So you will have bots and you will have some kind of floor scoping. And this is what, for instance, Jenny or Gem saw pretty well. And that's basically three proposition value that OpenSea is doing and that we offer to kind of deconstruct and create a product kind of for each. So we don't believe that you should trade the Bored Ape the same way you trade like a 2-cent NFT. You need some additional services. And on the other side, like bots, they need some greater feature than OpenSea don't offer right now. But LuxFair is doing good with their floor bidding, for instance.
Yeah. I think that just that one feature, a lot of people are excited for LuxRare. So kudos to them. Now, we talked about version 1. We talked about what the next OpenSea, not being OpenSea, looks like. You expounded on that. Now, I know there's new hires in the chat. I know there's new things being built. So now comes Nil version 2. What does version 2 look like? What is the team building? What can we expect?
That's a great point. So yeah, there has been more than 30 people joining as part of full time, and amazing developers, amazing product manager, community animator to design. Like really, the team is much more strange than we used to be. So far, like most of the jobs were super manual and done by hand, and this was difficult for us to scale. So the first part of the V2, there are three main objectives. As a business, we get back to the kind of basis. What we want, something that can scale. So when we sleep, it can grow, something autonomous. So we really want to offer tooling. We want an operating system for NFTs. We don't want to be a studio. So it's really about offering tools and be a kind of layer for the NFT ecosystem. And then there is generate revenues. So that's kind of the basis we focus on for the V2. And our vision is to kind of do some quick loop of iteration. So we expect to ship in not too long, like Q1 for sure of this year. And so that's the objective. So how do we make it? We decided basically to put to another level what we do already well, which is the Launchpad. So rather than having this kind of handmade Launchpad, it's going to be fully autonomous. So people will have the opportunity to plug their art and launch their collection the way they want. And progressively, we're going to make the Launchpad more powerful, or maybe integrate other Launchpad that do it pretty well. So that's the first part. And then there is the secondary marketplace. And what you can expect from the V2 is a marketplace for the Nil collections, and which on the long term will allow us to support more collections. But to start with, we want to show we can do a marketplace, and we are technically also good at shipping product, and we want to show it again, or to demonstrate that we can do a cool product. So these are the three main objectives: autonomous, that can scale and generate revenue, and the way we see it is a launchpad and a marketplace with other kind of competitive advantage, let's say.
That's awesome. So like, this is a thought that comes to mind with a launchpad, a marketplace, both primary and secondary. And I'm assuming Nil has an L2 future. It seems that, Nil is building foundational pieces where almost any sort of art can be built and launched with Nil. Like you said, a tribe as a service, more tools, almost like a Shopify, if you will. Does this mean we will, see different forms of art? Like maybe can an artist drop their mixtape on Nil? Can, game developers launch on Nil? Like, is this the type of future that Nil will have?
Absolutely. So on the long term, there will be as many marketplaces as there are kind of communities. And NFTs we will support will take all the forms this community needs. So low expense NFTs, small supply, large supply, different kind of NFTs, as you say, different formats also. Even though to start with, we are going to focus on generative art. So for the first release, we really want to also keep creating a strong brand. And we believe we will be better by monopolizing the market or making revenue, making ourselves kind of solid and find the great receipt for a specific type of NFTs. And from there scale and open the operations to more NFT types. The same way Amazon first was specialized in book, but Jeff Bezos' vision was already like to get everything. But you start focus, you create the logistic, the tools that work, and then you scale. So that's the way we see it. Gen.art is still raising. It's still emerging kind of, and we believe like it's a cool features also in respect to the branding we have, the support we have in the ecosystem, and the end relationship. And also all the amazing creators basically that apply. Most of them are in generative art. So this is the way we see to start with.
I love that that Amazon example is amazing. So Theo, I basically asked all the questions I wanted to ask you. I'm super excited about Nil. Now my last and final, maybe call it a question, is there any final message you'd like to share to the viewers? You know, maybe someone's looking to join the DAO, or just some information you'd like to share as closing remarks.
Sure. I would like to say that this is kind of a long, iterative process. So we are confident about what we are building, especially the V2. I'm really pumped about the team, like the people that joined as kind of contributors. And it's a long journey, like really building also the community. We really want to keep the focus on that and make the people feel they are involved in the construction of it. And it's really an equilibrium to find between empowering the community, communicating about what we are doing, but also being efficient in building and shipping stuff that works. So I'm really kind of optimist about the future, and even the Nil Studio. Like I think that's really something cool, and we want to keep growing on the content creation. So whatever it takes, we will work to get the V2 done, and from there iterate and keep the plan, or let's say the vision get executed on the kind of surgical aspects. So step by step, well done, and scale, make a revenue, and from there have some fun, I would say.
I'm bullish on Nil. If it's not clear yet, I'm very bullish on Nil. Thank you so much, Theo, for joining us as the first episode on the Nil DAO YouTube channel, on the Nil DAO podcast. This will be looked at 5 years from now, and they're going to be like, man, these guys were onto something.
Hopefully. And thanks for all your work, sir. Like, you're there from N, you know how tumultuous this stuff is, because this was like a design. It's not a bug. All the cow we saw from N, like Tony and I are kind of a bit of Nietzschean, or let's say we love like kind of what can happen when you let people getting into some really raw stuff. So all we have seen so far is just our vision of what N was, and now the expansion to Nil and kind of broader vision. But it's really exciting, and I'm super grateful to have met you.
Likewise,
months
man.
ago now.
Likewise, man.
Pretty cool.
The years to come are going to be exciting. This is just the beginning. Thank you so much for being here, Theo. I appreciate you.
My pleasure. And wait for us, the underdogs.
The underdogs, yeah. They'll see. All right, take care, everybody. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And next week, I will see you with another awesome podcast episode. Take care, everybody.